What's up, Snow? Going on, Jose? Candy. I think I can actually catch the whole stream. You might? Crazy. Crafty. How you doing? Doing okay. I can actually catch. I read that. Gosh damn it. Rip Jeb. Yep. Not this time, Mr. Hume. You son of a. I'm not talking to you anymore, Drafty. I'm not talking to you anymore, Drafty. Get in the corner. Go in the corner and think about what you've done. Which is it? This one? Yes, that's gotta be it. Wait a minute. What's so different about this? Why is... Oh, I see the difference. Okay. What's the Jib class's purpose? It's to replace the Moonrunner. It is strictly a rescue salvage transport vehicle for inner Kerbal system. This is just a concept. Just a concept. Rescue salvage transport vehicle. Still working on this thing, huh? Pretty much done, actually. Except for maybe some lights. Will this be a ship to replace the Moonrunner? I might keep the Moonrunner in service alongside this one. Start building a fleet. You guys missed last stream? What happened to Jeb? He died. Short answer, he died. Really, 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 really short answer. He super died. Podge, I didn't mean to do that. Excuse me. There we go, that's good. I think I've got everything mechanically. Engines. Decals. Power. I could paint this a little bit, make it look a little nice. Jeb died? Yep, Jeb died. Hello, Bane. Oh no. I always wanted to just with a cactus. Yeah, the cactus won. The cactus won. Gosh dang it. Looks pretty good. I could probably use that. Door pattern. Open GUI load pattern. Yeah, I like that. Okay. How about this? NGUI. Okay. So we got sun, methane. Looks good. Are you still working on a new Jolly Roger after the changes with nerves? Oh yeah. It's going to be more expensive though, so it's going to take a lot longer than normal. Honestly, I might even not even mess with the nerves. I might even just build another Jolly Roger straight up with the engines. It looks good though. 4,400 Delta V. That's plenty of Delta V. This one's got 3,000 Delta V. The lander has 3,000 Delta V. That's plenty. I think we're good. Now, how I'm going to build this thing is a completely different animal. Honestly, this is more of a futuristic concept. Don't think it's going to be built anytime soon. But I just want to get it started. Because I think there's going to be a new wave. Oh, lights. Let's do lights. Let's see. How am I going to do lights? I think there's going to be a new wave of spacecraft coming in that has a longer body to it. Because for the longest time, it was a very short body until we built the Jolly Roger. The Jolly Roger had a long body because it incorporated a type of docking bay for smaller craft. And ever since then, I think we've been playing around with the idea of elongated bodies, especially when we revisited the somewhat mature now USS Moonrunner and upgraded it. And when we upgraded it, I really liked the way it looked. So I think the new wave of designs will be a elongated body. Cactus sack. They don't call them prickly pears for nothing, right? Jeb Bill, Brian Bain. Can't rest in peace. Hey Vales, how's you today? Good. Jeb is remembered. Yep, Jeb is remembered. Oh, here we are. Here it is. At least I believe that's it. Alright, so this is the Moonrunner now. It's got the upgraded part in the middle. There's a little bit more going on, obviously, but this is just a concept, I think, that we threw together before we launched it. So I liked that it felt cool because the original Moonrunner was short and stocky, whereas this one had the ability to not only have more fuel, but also had the ability to rescue and salvage vehicles, which I thought was really cool. The original Moonrunner is purely science, purely a science vehicle. So the new one that's going to take its place doesn't have any science whatsoever. No science instruments, no nothing. It is purely transport, rescue, and salvage vehicle. Just gonna fly around the Kerbal system and make money, basically, rescuing and salvaging stranded Kerbals, as well as transporting Kerbals back and forth anywhere that we deem them necessary to go. There it is. So that's the original version. As you can see, it's got a bunch of science stuff in it. It's primarily a science vessel. But it's old. We don't really need it anymore. This vessel has outlived its usefulness in the Kerbal system. But in order to keep it alive and going, we added some stuff to it. So ain't nothing wrong with long shaft veils. Ha ha, you funny. New long ships, yes. The new space missions be on a whole new level of super ships. Your new builds really have developed their own unique style. They have. They really have. Form follows function, and each of the design of these vehicles follow a form. I think what's happened is that the USS Jolly Roger and the USS Moonrunner, like, if they got together and had a baby. That's what's kind of going on right now. Because the Jolly Roger has the elongated body, and the Moonrunner is a smaller craft. So right now this is the Moonrunner. She's in orbit. Captain Bane is looking after her. Captain Bane is looking after her. She's a good ship. She deserves a good captain. But anyway, you can see that it's definitely a part that's brand new by comparison to the rest of the vessel. This vessel is actually ancient by comparison. It's very old. This whole vessel, this side and this side, have almost single-handedly explored all of Minmus and the Mun. Almost single-handedly explored the Minmus. I don't even remember the first time when we launched this thing. It's been so long. But when I upgraded it like this, I really fell in love with the elongated look. I really liked it. I thought it looked really cool. So we're gonna start building stuff like that. But like I said, form follows function. The reason why it's long is because it needed room for salvage operations in order to take stuff back. In order to take the Kerbals and their wreckages back to make monies. Down in the field of big cactus. No. Poor Jeb's died, right? New bigger ship being designed. And the name is his honor, right? Hello, Veos. Yeah. Robert, go in the corner. Go in the corner, Robert. I sent somebody else in the corner just a second ago. Both you and him can just stay in the corner. Time out. You're in timeout, Robert. In which stream did Jeb incident happen? Last stream, I believe. If how long, baby Veils. That's a ship indeed. Hi, hello, bun. Long ship with truss sections will always look cool. Such a name for a Moonrunner doesn't have much truss. Yeah. Yeah. What is that in front of the ship? What's in front of the ship? You talking about this little guy? That's a tow vehicle. Remote control tow vehicle. I am seeing stuff. Are you? The Moonrunner, I think, was on a diet, hence less trusses. His name is Robert Poulsen. Robert Persson. Cool. And I think we found out that the only reason why we're able to use remote control is because we have two pilots inside of this particular can. The Mark II lander can, if you have 2 pilots in it, one can control the ship and one can control anything outside the ship. That's the only reason why we can do that without having to worry about being in the shadow of Kerbin and losing all communications. So really cool thing there. So they can remote control. They can remote control this thing even if they're far away from Kerbin, and Kerbin's not controlling it. As long as you got 2 pilots inside this particular spacecraft. I'm sure other command pods have the same. There's some that have the same thing to them, but I'm just really happy about that. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to stay in business for a very long time. But I think we need to start building a fleet, let alone a space station. Remember, form follows function, so the space station is going to be pretty much a fuel port. That's what will be its main design. It'll have some science laboratories on it, sure, but for the most part, it's going to be a fuel port. All the Kerbals rescued from space wrecks just happened to be babes. Loki, you should have kept the Jolly Roger for another Duna mission. You know what? You're right. But the problem with the Jolly Roger at the time was the Kraken bait fuel. That thing was... It wanted to explode constantly. But in hindsight, we should have kept it. Honestly, we should have kept that big, beautiful beast. We really should have. And I think what I'm going to do is, while nuclear technology sounds great, because of the fact that I've put so much rules on it, I might just go back to redesigning a more modern Jolly Roger with the regular rocket engines. After refuel plus new shuttle, right? Theo said the Fight Club thing. We don't talk about Fight Club. Have you had any success with these pistons and shift what? COM on the space plane? I've had moderate success on the tail that extends as COM shifts. Well, Slash, when you build a space plane, your primary goal is to make it so that the center of mass never shifts. Now, in some cases, you have to go around that, obviously. Like the case where Jebediah died. Had I had the foreshadowing of what was going on, I would have put all the remaining fuel to the nose in order to keep that beautiful big bird from doing what it did and killing the crew. But for the most part, if you were to do, like, say, I'm going to show you a non-cargo version of a SSTO. Here we go. So the Kestrel. This is a passenger SSTO. It's actually starting to see some years now, but it's still relevant. If I click on RCS Build Aid, which is a mod you can see on the description below, the red is empty weight, and the yellow is fully fueled weight, or wet versus dry. Notice how they don't even move. So when you build your craft, when you build your SSTOs, you want to make your center of mass very much like this. It's very hard to achieve this, especially if you're a rocket SSTO, because once the fuel gets sucked up, a lot of times the rocket is very heavy, and your center of mass wet and center of mass dry will be very far apart. But for the most part, this works really well. But whenever you start building SSTOs, you always want to try to get it to where your center of mass, empty or full, is damn near never moves. And if you do that, you'll be fine no matter what. You don't have to worry about transferring weight back and forth. You'll be absolutely fine. Now, I'm going to show you an SSTO real quick that defies all frickin' logic. And that's this bad boy. Notice how it's completely opposite. You got the wet mass is way up here, dry mass is way down here. But notice something with this. When you lift off, it's kind of nose heavy, and it takes a while to point upwards into the sky. But when you come back and you've used up most of the fuel, your center of lift is now very close to your center of mass. So you don't have to worry about shifting weight back and forth because you're pretty much there. Unless you're a dumbass like I was last stream, and I was hauling a piece of equipment where all the weight was back here, forcing this to move backwards. And I really should have moved the fuel up, which would have stabilized it a little. Well, I could talk about it all day, but you can wish in one hand and crap in the other. Which one's going to fill up first, right? Jebediah is gone because of me. And I'm pissed off about it, but you know what? When you play dangerous stuff like this, man, it is what it is. Now this, on the other hand, I will show you this. There is another trick to this. Like the Arc Raven, which I'm going to redesign here pretty soon, because honestly, I don't really like the way it looks. Kind of dumb. But notice something, and I'll read chat just a hot second. It's like this, right? But during re-entry, this goes up. And look at the look what happens during re-entry. Now, this is way up in front, and the wings are way behind. I mean, the center of lift is way behind. So it's very stable upon re-entry. It keeps that nose heavy so it doesn't flip over. A little too much, but for some reason I've noticed that the drag on the body, because this doesn't calculate body lift in your center of mass. I think there's a mod you can download that can actually do that. But there's a whole lot of body lift right here. So this center of mass, or excuse me, center of lift is actually a lot closer. Anyway, yeah, so you can do that way. You can either have it so your wings change the center of lift back and forth, or you can make it where the center of mass and center of lift are very close to each other. Or in some cases, you know, they don't even move. But hey, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just played 12 years, that's fine. Anywho, what are we talking about? Hey, we don't talk about Fight Club. Rule 1. I hear the Paramount was sacked. What? Wreck the Films with J.J. Abrams? Also sacked next? I have no idea. Oof, I have the removed scatterer on my main because it looks so good. I wish there were alternatives for lower end stuff. Yeah. Potato computers. I had one. I know what you mean. Hopefully the Trek films from now on maybe be better. I don't know. If you see dancing Klingons, well, there's your answer. Remarkable. Landing gear, landing gear cactus killed Jeb. You had saved the crew and the drop the payload, fate, other plans, but yeah, well, you know what? Like I said, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other. Which one's gonna fill up first, huh? Skydance, who knows? CBS, fan filmmakers, Star Trek films, right? 6 years or better. I don't know, man. I don't have much faith for Star Trek films anymore. Thank you for showing me these examples. You're very welcome, Slash. I hope you have a wonderful building future. Hindsight being 2020 and all. Yep, I love the Arc Raven look, though. It does. Well, the new one, not so much. I like the old one, actually. This is precisely what I was trying to do, but with a piston instead of a hinge. Ugh. Pistons, man. They're not very reliable. Amazing advice, brother. Thank you. You are so welcome, good sir. Now go out there and build some impressive shit. Stuff. Demonetizing crap. So what am I doing here? I want to, since we're show and telling, this is the old Arc Raven. It has the same function, though. The old Arc Raven has the same function. These come up during re-entry in order to pull the center of mass, center of lift back a little bit. And there's actually got two of them. There's two. There's this one. So if you take these and you bring, oops. You take these and you bring, oops. What the hell? Hey, oh, there we go. You take these and you bring them down, then the center of lift goes back nicely. Anyway, I like the look of this one much better. I don't know why, it just looks so nice. I love this. I don't know why I like it so much. Looks really snazzy. I want to be able to make the newer Arc Raven kind of look the same way. The big freaking wings, I'm not a big fan of those. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. One of these days I'm going to sit down and just work on it. Because I still want it. The Arc Raven is a beautiful fuel barge. It's a beautiful, beautiful fuel barge. It brings up a lot of gasoline. Rocket fuel, but you know. You guys finally read my posts. As a tradition, you read 1 out of 20 of my posts. Oops, sorry. I really enjoy your style of bigger SSTOs. Well, see, like I said, it's form follows function. The bigger SSTOs are necessary because they allow for one launch and a quicker refueling time. Look at this, check this out. Before I started having the technology available to build big fuel barge SSTOs, the fueling, this was the first fuel plane. It had a second stage, but still, this was the very first type of fuel barge that we used to fuel up the very first moon exploration vehicles. Well, no, I shouldn't say moon exploration. I should say Mimas exploration vehicle. I mean, I really need to start making like a little history documentation because it's really fun. First, it was Kerbal because there was a Kerbal on here, so it was Kerbalized. There was no landing gears at the time. This thing landed in the water near the KSC because we hadn't unlocked landing gears yet. So it would launch like a rocket, come down like a plane, but land in the water. And this was the very first right here. Actually, no. This was the very first Minmus craft. Notice how small it is. But we didn't have the ability to fuel up vessels yet. I think this one? I don't even think we were able... No. I don't even think we were able to... The Moonshot. I don't even think the Moonshot was capable of refueling yet. I don't think the Moonshot was capable of refueling yet. We had refueling in mind, which is why we had the Clapotron docking port, but I don't think we were able to refuel it yet. Right? Oh man, it's been so long I can't remember. So this is the Moonshot NCC 330B. Because the original 330 died and almost killed the entire Legacy crew. But hey, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, this is the original. Oh no, 300, excuse me. This is the 300. Okay, yeah. And it nearly killed the entire Legacy crew. Because form follows function. So when we slammed into the atmosphere of Kerbin, this created so much drag that it started pushing against the entire craft. And I thought that these would be all right, that these would help, but because you're in the very thin atmosphere, these wings were not grabbing on nothing. And so what ended up happening was that it was getting pushed back because of the nose, right? And it started going like this, and then finally it just said, "Nah, screw you all," and it started moving. It started doing its thing. And then things were blowing up and whatnot. It was scary. It was very scary. So that's That's how we learned. Don't save. That's how we learned to actually put these bad boys in the back. These right here. So that when it starts slamming into the atmosphere, yeah, it'd be start getting pushed back, but these right here would also catch the atmosphere and stabilize the craft. And that's how we started building the big old flappy wings in the back. And this is basically the beginning of why all the ships look like what they look like. I'm going on a old man thing, sorry. Dropping a bomb like that, how dare you? Message redacted. Hopefully Veo's kitty will leave you alone. No, he probably won't. The Strumule, right? The Star Mule. Why did I say Strumule? Gosh damn, I'm tired. Whoa, hey, Slash. Oh wait, duh, Slash, sorry. Wow. You know when you're tired, can it's like the question, tell me you're tired without telling me you're tired. Tell me you're tired without telling me you're tired. So that's how the whole wingy bits in the back started. And I believe this was the next one. The Moonrunner was the successor, and it had the same thing going on in the back with the heat shield in front in order to stabilize the craft. It was more tougher. It was like the big bully of the crowd. NCC 400, Moonrunner, Big Bertha. But this whole part right here was the lander. So it's a lander / fuel barge, basically. And from then on out, our ships kind of went in that direction. Let me see if I still have the old Jolly Roger, or at least the concept. The old Jolly Roger concept. There she is. Hey, Jolly Roger concept. So anyway, this went to Duna. And it had the same concept. It had the flappy bits in the back to stabilize it during re-entry. That this technique was learned from the Moonrunner and Moonshot. And unlike the Moonrunner and Moonshot, where the back end was the actual landing craft, it housed its own landing craft in a type of shuttle bay, which really came in handy, especially when we lost one shuttle and we had to jury-rig the second one, all while being around Duna. So that was fun. We should have really kept that sucker. Kind of sad that we didn't. But we'll design something new and kind of keep the old spirit alive. Yeah, so it all of this stuff, man, is cause and effect. Like this, when we started getting the better probe cores, that's when we took the Kerbal out of the cockpit. We started flying these in order to refuel the craft. So this was the second refueling barge, and it had landing gears, unlike the other one. The only bad thing about this is that during re-entry we'd have plasma blackout, and we'd kind of have to hope and pray that we wouldn't lose control and the darn thing would blow up. But it took like freaking 8 launches just to refuel the Moonrunner. So when we were trying to refuel the Jolly Roger, we didn't have a choice. We had to get something. We had to build something bigger. Like I said, form follows function and cause follows, or was it the other way around? I forget. Need follows cause or something like that. So in order to refuel the Jolly Roger without having to launch 150 times, that's when we started building big refuelers. And we only had to launch this thing like 4 times in order to fill up Jolly Roger. Big refuelers, nice and big. So we didn't have to spend all that money and time refueling with tiny little refueling ships. And that's how the Arc Raven was born. Yes, sir! History lesson by Veos, yay! Made a mod called... What? You should maintain your sanity while streaming KSP for a bit more than usual. Probably check it out later. Okay. Video idea videos, documentary style recap video and the whole series highlights your top vehicles. Boy, that'd take forever, Joseph. And I still haven't gotten all the streams and put them together to be a video. Got people crying about it. I shouldn't say crying about it. Excuse me, that's a very harsh word. Concerned about it. Because they don't want to watch 7-8 hours worth of streams, and I don't blame them. Remember the ship's history list to be made as poster Kerbals? That's right, I want to try to make some silhouettes, right? Are we going to work on more realistic Jolly Roger? Maybe not today, but I do want to work on a Jolly Roger that brings back the old look. And the reason why is because, honestly... Honestly, it's already a tried and trusted design. Nuclear... I don't even know where to start when it comes for a nuclear Jolly Roger. See, this is a tried and trusted design. It works. We know it works. It's had its shakedown. It's proven itself, and we can use the new technology that we've unlocked to update it a whole lot. But gosh dang, a nuclear Jolly Roger would be an absolute I don't know, guys. Nuclear Jolly Roger might be a little much. See, a nuclear concept ship would have to look like this, because we made rules for the nerve. Because we unlocked the nerve so damn fast in a 10% science, I was a little pissed off over that. I was a little pissed off over the fact that we unlocked the nerve so quickly. So I made rules for the nerve. The nerve is extremely radioactive, and its real life counterpart is, by the way, extremely radioactive. So some sort of shielding, and it has to be away from the crew. Because if the crew is going to be right up next to it, you'd have to have like a crap ton of shielding. So take the crew, move it away. That cuts down on the radiation some. And then you put a relatively light shielding and hide the crew from the radiate. It's like a cone. It's like a cone. The best way to describe it is that this is going... This radiation is shooting in all directions. So if you put like a little shield right here, you have like this cone of very low, if no radiation whatsoever, so that the Kerbals will be just fine. So if we're going to build a nuclear ship, it's going to look like this. Maybe not with these big giant things, but you know. Nuclear vessel. And it's going to have the lessons learned from the Moonrunners. With the forward shields and the rear stabilizers during aero braking. But to make a Jolly Roger with the same concept is it's gonna be a minute. Change channel name again, I see. No, I didn't. Hello, Mr. Enter. Wow, I am tired. More wings, LOL. Space dart. Go back to realistic Jolly Roger. Maybe. Wild. You really need wings perpendicular to those wings. More wings. What about when you dig through the ditches and burn through the way? Okay, okay, yeah, it's Rob Zombie. Yeah, okay, Bane. Change the channel name again. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. It also disintegrated into multiple pieces. Did it? Bane like SnowRunner. I went to Duna, Ike, Gilly, so now I'm going to Jewel or Maho. Haven't decided. Well, decide, damn it. I can't wait forever. Pick a lane. For some reason, despite having over 1,000 hours, I've never made a career save, so I think I'll start right now. Cool, Caden. Try 10%. It's very addictive. You can endure KSP's career, but RP1 may be a bit boring initially. I would imagine maybe. I don't know. I played Realism Overhauled Realism Solar System before. I built an SSTO that could take 21 tons into orbit. It looks more like a more like a nuclear warhead with a heat shield in the bottom. But it worked. It landed on the ground, had legs and everything. Boy, I would never want to do that again. That was a lot of work. I used hydrogen fuel with space shuttle rocket engines. Let's see, like Boeing's lifting body experiment, right? I'm not laughing at this message because I'm okay. From follows anger, anger follows function, and need follows form. Wait, what? I like the history lesson. It's an easy way to see a lot of the crafts I've missed. Yeah, I should make a video, but gosh damn, where do I find the time, man? If you build a ship to go to a comet ship, you know what? If we're going to go to a comet colon, it would have to be nuclear, because honestly, when they introduced comets and asteroids and stuff, I never really tried to go get one in my entire years of playing KSP. So it should be a very new experience, and I am going to use up way more Delta V than what I should. So a nuclear engine will probably save me. Hey Andrew, hello. You should try just updating that ship with new tech and leave the nuclear Jolly Roger for Jewel or Maho. I mean, sure. It's in the works right now. I'm trying to figure out what to do. Because technically, Jolly Roger, a nuclear Jolly Roger would be very efficient, but a real pain in the ass to build. Unlocking was not that fast. Looks really cool. Very nice concept shift. Yeah. Plus long trusses and big radiators, which make it automatically cool. I personally like putting restrictions on nuclear engines too. Yeah. See, that's sick. Well, thank you. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Yeah, used to Veos Engineering. Last I checked. Now you're Veos stock builds. What? No, I'm still Veos Engineering. I mean, it's either that or Veos 3712. A lot of people like the 3712 for some reason. It's kind of weird. I might just change it back, because I tried putting Veos, just regular Veos, but that was already taken. Isn't that that's some shenanigans? I tried just using regular Veos, but it was already taken. So Veos Engineering it is. A person like putting restrictions. Oh, I read that. Stock builds maybe just behind the times. I don't know. Hi Veos, what you building? I'm trying to figure out what to build. Well, actually, I know what to build, but I just don't know how to build it. I know what to build, I just don't know how to build it. Advanced nuclear engine ship will need a shield made maybe from dead Kerbals you killed. What the hell? There's some metal for what? Alive Kerbals on this? No, what the hell? I respect the devotion to realism. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's obviously it's a game. You play it how you want to play, as long as you have fun, right? That's all that matters. For me personally, a realism makes it more fun for me, personally. Are we using rovers for Eve? Yes, we actually have a rover for Eve. It's still in its developmental stages, but Eve is a lot like Venus, right? super thick atmosphere, hardly any heat comes out, you know. So I can only imagine that Eve, with almost twice the gravity of Kerbin, is not only very heavy, right, but it's very hot. I don't know if it's as hot as Venus, but one can only imagine with that kind of thickness, right? This is the rover that will be going to Eve. It'll be placed there by the Jolly Roger once we get the Jolly Roger rebuilt. And the way it does it is that when it falls down, these open up, and it helps it slow down to the point where the radio-mounted parachutes can deploy. This, of course, I think these eject once it's done used. These will retrograde, allow it to go into Eve. And once it deploys and lands in Eve, because you gotta remember Eve's atmosphere is super thick, so radio parachutes will be enough. Radio-mounted parachutes. There you go. Oh, actually, there's 4 of them. Anyway, this is the vehicle that's inside of it. And I made it purposefully look like a steel can because it's supposedly it's supposed to be able to withstand a crap ton of heat for a very long time. So with steel, heat actually makes it stronger. So I could imagine that this would have cooling systems in it. It could last for, you know, weeks, if not months, before finally giving up the ghost, technically melting or whatever the case might be. But that's the idea behind it, and it's very maneuverable. It works very well. I like it a lot. I'm not too sure about whether or not it's going to be able to use its solar panels because of the thickness of the atmosphere. That right there might kill it, honestly. So I might end up trying for a different type of power supply if and when we start launching. We'll have to update it. Had to implement arbitrary rule about the nuke engines because Kerbals are weak. Karens don't share the same weakness. Yeah, oh shit. Oh, okay, Bane. Okay, mister. I'm going to put an RTG next to Kerbal's face and then everything's going to be fine. Oh my gosh. Are we using rovers for Eve? I read that. I'm working on Duna Lander, but I'm low-key dry and creative juices. Well, if you watch my videos from when we went to Duna, we used the launcher lander. Or was that? Not a launcher lander. Wow. We used the shuttle lander. Does that make sense? I think I'll do 10% science and similar nuclear restrictions to what you have. Man, Caden, you're going to have a lot of fun, bro. I took the Veos name. For you sell it to you $500. Now you keep it, man. You keep it. I'll sell it to you. 2001 Discovery, right? Are you gonna use any conical shaped landers for anything? Am I reading that right? Conical? If I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like landers that have your typical landing legs and land vertically. If I believe I understand you right. And we used to have landers like that. The very first types of landers that went to the moon were very much like that. Oh damn, that was late. That was really late.
They're never cold, THO.
Hey, I got that working again, finally. For the longest time, it wasn't working. They're never code. I'll show you a lander. I think that the kind this is more an advanced one. This is not the early ones, but it landed on its butt, which is kind of like what these are supposed to be. I opted to take the landing legs off, and I just went ahead and made it like like these pieces of metal were meant to land. Anyway, so it would land just like that, and they would be on the moon, and they'd do what they had to do, and then they would jump back in, and the whole thing would launch back into space and head back towards Kerbin, and the whole thing was recoverable. It would ascend into Kerbin and deploy chutes and land just fine. And the typically we aim for water, but there you go. And I think I have one of the older landers. I can't remember. It's been so long. I've deleted so many old crafts. I think I have an old lander. Ah, here we are. There she is. This was one of the first ships to ever go to the moon. But maybe not land. We didn't have struts back then, and we didn't unlock the auto struts. We didn't have this. This was not unlocked yet. I think you have to upgrade a building for that to be unlocked. But we didn't have that. So in order to keep these things from wiggling apart, I put 4 girders on one solid booster. And what that did was it kept them in line. It kind of held them in place. It would still wiggle, but it wouldn't like fly off and turn into spaghetti. And once those were done, the second stage would come over, and once that was done, and the third stage would go. I think I could do this without screwing everything up. And then once these were gone, there we go. Oh, where's the engine? I think I screwed up. No, the engine, right? Oh, there it is. Oh, chica. There we go. Once that was gone, then we had the Reliant. And this was the actual lander that landed on, well, it never did, but, you know, that was the original lander. And these actually popped off because they were primarily only used for the reaction wheel that was inside of them. So once we got into the atmosphere, we didn't need the reaction wheel inside those anymore. They popped off. And now that was the lander. Isn't she cute? I kind of made it look like there's some room back here. Like it was like a single walkway or something. You had like a little room and whatnot, and the sleeping quarters and stuff back there. So that was the first one. It never ever landed on the moon though. We never got that lucky because we didn't have avionics unlocked. So when we went to the moon, we literally eyeballed it. Does anybody remember that? When we eyeballed it to the moon? Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. What's this? What's this gonna be?
Put a flared base on it. It'll be good to go for butt stuff vows human come.
Oh, why, Bane, why? Go in the corner, Bane. Go in the corner with the other one. Go in the corner with everybody else. You've been sent to the corner, Bane. Oh, jeez. He's like, no. Fight me. Bane is Bane. Yeah, Bane will always be Bane. Bane will always be Bane. Oh, gosh. Why would Bane do this? Flared base. How does that moon lander not dart into the atmosphere? Good question. Because this moon lander, if I remember correctly, it disconnected. I think it disconnected. Once we gathered all the science from everything, it disconnected from here. Yep, I believe so. And then this would open up, and that's how it landed. Oh, looky. There we go.
It already has a flared base.
Does it? Anyway, so this would be what landed. This is what was going to come back, and I loved it because it kind of like little looked like a tiny little X-wing, and it would land in the water. Ad Astra is all that cool stuff. But like I said, it never got a chance to land on the moon, because every time we went to the moon, we didn't have the ability to make maneuver nodes. So we had to literally eyeball it. And the way you go to the moon without using the ability to make maneuver nodes is you wait until your spacecraft it's over Kerbin, and as soon as you see the moon coming up, rising above Kerbin, that's when you engage your engines. And then you just go to your map and you make sure that your oh gosh, damn, I'm tired. Just make sure that your maneuver, oh my goodness, help me. Make sure that you're going to the moon's orbit. Once you know that you're kind of going to the moon's orbit, then you just kind of coast, and when you get to the moon, it'll grab you, and there you go, and you do the rest of the stuff there. But yeah, that's how we did it. That's how we made the bacon. But like I said, this particular lander never landed. It went around the moon, got a bunch of pictures and stuff, lots of EVA science, don't save. But never landed. Sad. I believe the first landing on the moon, the actual first damn landing on the moon, was an older version of this. Because the older version of this, if I remember correctly, it kind of looked like this. And we're just going to do a little, I guess this stream's going to be nothing but a little history run, huh? It kind of looked like this. It had, we used, yep, whoops. Kind of looked like this. Yeah, so the very first version of this kind of craft kind of looked like that. And when we landed on the moon, for the very first time in Kerbal history, it was very much like this, if I remember correctly. Minus the solar panels, because we didn't have that technology unlocked yet. Minus the small inline stuff, because we didn't have that technology. Minus pretty much everything. We didn't have that technology unlocked yet. But it was a lot like this. When we first landed on the moon, it was a lot like this. I remember. That was fun. That was very fun. Anyway. He's like, fight me. I feel like every stream recently has been looking through old files. No, Snow, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bore you. Early KSP players, apparently 2 sticks and a rock. Head share the rock, right? It already has a flare base. Another mod has a wormhole in orbit of... Yeah, you know what? One of these days I would love to go through the wormhole and see what happens. I mean, the other more sleek-looking moon lander. Oh, I guess you're talking about this one? Because there was several types of moon landers. We've been through... this whole series has gone through some moon landers. You had this one, right? And I remember for a brief time, we were using this one. This was a moonlander. And I think we used it before we had wheels. This is the one that Dudfield Kerman died testing out. Let me see if this comes off. Yes, it does. Cool. Yeah. Where is it? This is... Anyway. Yeah, so this was a moonlander for a while. Came in like a plane, landed like a plane. But it was meant to replace that other one that I was showing you not 2 seconds ago. Worked really well. This right here, though, this part right here wanted to blow up a couple of times, so we ended up putting a piece of wing next to it. You can see the tiny little extra wing bit right here. Because this did not like re-entry at all. This thing wanted to pop so bad. Oh no, anyways. He totally glossed over it. I'm so sorry. What do I do? Oh, man. Put a suction cup on the bottom of the ship so you stick to the flat surface for... Sure, okay. Somebody shot him with a tranquilizer drug. I guess somebody did shoot me. Dude, I work 9 hours a day. Give me a break. Jeez. If the mun grabs you while you're thrusting, it's gonna be a good time. Oh gosh, damn it. I have to be careful what I read with Bane, man. I have to be so careful. A friction pad, once they are unlocked, would work. Maybe. Know what? No, I have friction pads unlocked. I do. Now I do, anyway. Has flare base and is fine against suction. Gosh, damn. You know what I mean. Bane, I will throw you into the sun. Perhaps into decloaks. Warps and decloaks. What's going on, Star Dragger? He will be thrust into the sun, right? Does the wormhole lead to a brown hole? Oh my gosh. What kind of comm tech do we have? We've got only the best comm tech ever, man. We got the RA2 relay antenna. Only the best for my Kerbals, you know? Well, we have Doohickey, the one with the capsule in the vertical position. What was this Doohickey? The one with the vertical capsule? I must have completely... I don't know what you guys talking about. Don't save. I'm talking about the Moonlander with the small fans. I'm wondering how it doesn't dart into the atmosphere with it having fin and little drag. You know what? That's a good question. I'm actually quite curious myself how I made that work. I'm thinking because of the simple fact that, and hear me out. Where the hell is it? It ran away from me. There we go. Okay. So you're talking about this thing. I'm thinking this thing right here. Okay, this creates drag. Creates a lot of drag, obviously. But here's the center of lift. Center of mass, excuse me. And I don't think it... No. Okay, so here we are. I'm not sure how much you can see from this. But when it's going into the atmosphere, like this, what is this called? The onion. That's a weird name. The onion creates a incredible amount of drag. It was meant to do that in game. And also, believe it or not, the command pod with the parachute also creates a tremendous amount of drag. And the reason for that is because from what I understand, they wanted to make sure that the command pod was facing right side up. That's how that works. Maybe we should test it. You guys want to test this real quick and see what happens?
He's not talking about that lander.
Oh, fuck. Okay, never mind. Never mind, is it? Never mind, is it? Come in like a wrecking ball. What kind of contact is that? The one was doohickey with the capsule in the vertical position. You talk, or so you're just okay. So the only lander that's left in this old thing is this one. You're talking about this one? This lander? Is that the one you're talking about? Again, video idea, documentary style, recap showcasing your vehicles. I know, Joseph. I know. That's a lot to ask. I'm doing the best I can. It's like to get your own stream bane. The Dudfield booster also needs to go to the high suborbital trajectory, survive long enough to lander. Circularize and boost got to the low, right? Avoid those time for money scams. Money scams? Focusing on gaming. Hi Aveos, caught another stream. Hey Kyler. Your Kerbal died, by the way. Anyway, so it's not it's not a scam if you get paid. You're getting scammed every hour of every hour, yeah. Fins, not that one. Oh, sorry. Is not the ones he was these are not the ones he was looking for. Fin missile. Call it not, right? Not the onion. Hey look, was it one with a passenger cabin? Okay, so it is this one. Ah yes, NASA said that they have it's the first real white wormhole. Oh yeah, I remember hearing something about the white wormhole. First moon lander you showed on the stream. Okay. That lander. Okay. Gosh, damn it. Yes, test it. Passenger
That lander.
All right, left my ass off. That's the one. That one. The one with the most flared base. Okay. It looks like the fins are also in the center of mass, stabilizing the craft in retrograde. Today is my birthday. Today's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. I'm talking about the LLT 4B Luna. Yeah. My Kerbal is still alive. Is she though? So, I'm going to tell you right now, don't even have to test this thing. I can tell you exactly how this thing acted in space. No. So, on its way back, it would, of course, all the antennas would go in, and it would go in ass first. Now, this, of course, would get some serious punishment, and sometimes I'd have enough fuel left over to help slow down before I ran out of fuel completely. But it would do this for a while. It'd come through, right? And then as soon as I got to about 10,000 meters and hit the thicker atmosphere, this is what would happen. It would, of course, want to flip over like this. However, the first, I want to believe it was I can't remember how many designs we went through before we found this beautiful gem. The first design ever didn't have these wings. And so, yeah, it would go down like a dart, and it would accelerate, and it would scare the ever-living pee out of me because I thought it was going to crash and die. Thankfully, the wonderful radio-mounted drogue chutes would save our lives. I didn't want that to be the case all the time, but when I finally figured it out, these wings right here have a natural lift to them. So when it started going, when it flipped over, when it hit thick atmosphere, instead of going into a dart-like mode, these wings right here would generate lift, and it would pull the nose up so that the craft would literally come down to Kerbin like this. Once it hit 10,000 meters and flipped around, it would literally gently, of course it's moving in this direction, but it would literally do this. All the way down, and then I would engage parachutes. The parachutes would grab the nose, and the whole thing would come down into the ocean. So that's how we did it. And that was one of the reasons why I opted to build a space plane variant that was brought up by the Dudfield. Because I didn't like the fact that, you know, even though it worked, It was very up to luck. It was up to luck in the air every single time the Kerbals came back, and I did not like that at all. But I love the look. This thing looks like the last Starfighter, if anybody remembers that not so old video from back in the day. Kind of reminds me of the last Starfighter, Death Blossom. But anyway, so that's how that thing, I don't even have to show it to you. I already know how it went in. Grace, do puppet show. Do you want me to do the puppet show? You want me to do? Yes, yes, do puppet show. Yes, yes. How about making a few massive multi 2G relay arrays to send to Eve, like 12 to 24? You mean like a string of relays? Good grief, bro. Micromanage much? Hell no. I ain't all for that. After seeing your builds, I'm realizing that I'm being way too reserved when it comes to visualizing what is possible in this game. Well, Slash, I hope I hope that you see some stuff and it inspires you. That's all I'm here for, brother. Inspire, inspire, inspire. Not to say that my stuff is good, because it's crap, but hey, every little bit counts, right? Fist my bump. I said first my bump. What the hell? That's actually crazy. Yeah, it is crazy, man. I probably hold top. What? I probably hold stop buying super chats so he reads my stuff on a budget this month. Hey, Joseph, we're all on a budget, brother. Save your money. When I eat, it's beautiful. Well, how do you eat? It's beautiful. Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against the Zerg and the Kodan Armada. Oh! Somebody knows. Somebody knows the secret sauce. Like one big relay satellite with 24 2G relays. You know what we built, though? I will tell you what we did build. We tried our damnedest. We tried our damnedest. It was a test technology. I'll give you that. It was a test technology. We tried to bring it back to Kerbin, but now it's just kind of historical space debris. But we built the V'ger. Anybody remember the V'ger from back in the day? And we put how many satellites? How many dishes did we put on there? Try to boost its signal. It comes back every once in a while when it makes an orbit around the sun. Let's see. So we got our geostationary satellites. They're really on point. And we have our geostationary satellites around. They're not really geostationary, but satellites around the moon. So that's cleaned up real nice. And we got some stuff on Minmus. Forget it was from. Why are we receiving signals from Minmus anyway? I don't think we have. Maybe we did unlock the dish. Or maybe we don't have to. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway. Where are you? There you are. Here she is. The V'ger. Relay satellite. This poor thing. Out of fuel and out of luck. The only way we're gonna get this puppy back is if we send a salvage mission to go get her. There she is. Was she dead? No, she's not dead. Oh, we can't control it. That's why. Durr. Anyway, so we have 8 dishes that we made into a real big one. Can't really see it. I can't really see it still. Is there a way I can make this brighter? What was this? Yes. There we go. So it's 8 dishes. And like I said, even with the power of 8 dishes, we weren't able to get a whole lot. Now, the idea have been floating around, same idea that you have, to build a type of network that's in Duna orbit. That is a very real idea. To build like a network of something that's very close to these. It's kind of cool that we even got like the little gold disc. Anyway, build a network of these that goes around in Duna's orbit to create a type of relay system. It's going to cost a lot of money though. It wasn't cheap getting this thing out here. So once it gets to about, I want to say once it gets to about as far away as Duna is to Kerbin right now, you start getting a very weak signal. So its area of signal is not big. Maybe it's like this big. So we would need like, oh jeez. If we were to put like a relay orbital system of some kind around here, you'd need at least 50 of them. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. At least 20. Not 50, but at least 20. You'd need at least 20. And they would have to be in perfect orbit around the sun. Their orbit would have to be absolutely perfect, because if they're not, within a few years, they'd start to bunch up or spread way out, and then your whole net's crap. So the orbit would have to be absolutely perfect. But we would have to design something like that and launch every single one. And that costs money. Money that we don't have right now. Not happening. Excuse you, go back. Thank you. Yo. When I eat, it's beautiful. Ramen Star Empire helped the Star League. Yes. Your builds are not bad, Vale. Stop being humble. Can't help it, man. You should build a ship catapult. What? Toss a ship called the it's called the salad. Toss the salad. Duna probe that could not communicate from Duna. Right, exactly. Then you just gotta toss the salad, right? Being captain, you toss the salad. You were trying to redirect it to Eve, but it didn't have enough power. That's right. That's right, you're right. Gotta go, Vas. Alright, Joseph, have a great day, buddy. Have a wonderful weekend. I can't see it. No, I still can't see it, but in green. Need a Sat Slapper Prime to save the V'ger now. Yeah, like the ultimate Sat Slapper. Thoughts on making a moon base? I think we need to focus on building a space station first. That's probably needs to be our real focus. Because we need to make a lot of money. We have 700,000 Kerbal bucks, which honestly, if we want to build what we want to build, is not hardly enough money. We need at least 2 million bucks. Because the old Jolly Roger, if you remember correctly, if you do the math, we had like we had like over $2 million. And by the time we were done building the Jolly Roger and fueling it up, we had like something like $800,000 left. So the Jolly Roger was like $1,500,000 easy. Because that's not only the price of building it, which, you know, you have to launch the damn parts up there, but it's also the price of fueling it up. So that adds up quick. The Jolly Roger's price tag was like 15, 16, 17, $1,700,000, $1,600,000. Somewhere around there. If somebody really wanted to and sat down and watched the whole damn thing from beginning to end and found out the exact price, they could, but it was around there. It was a very expensive boy. She was very expensive. The Jolly Roger was very expensive. Maybe its area of signals Growing not shore. A grower not a shore. Just one large relay at Kerbin and one large relay at Eve. Yeah, that's not gonna work, bro. When you build relay satellites, yes, the antennas stack, but they are diminishing. Excuse me. They're diminishing returns. And I forget what the multiplier is, but eventually, you can have 1,000 antennas on there and it not do a damn thing. Because your diminishing return will be so low, it's not even freaking worth it. Where's the original? Where's the original satellite? Satellite. Is this it? Yes. Okay. So this was the original satellite. Maybe not the original launch vehicle, but definitely the original satellite. There she is. But we figured 8 would be good enough. We could have put 12 on here. Maybe even 10 or whatever, but the diminishing returns would be so much that it wouldn't have made a difference. The only way you can make a difference is if you unlock new tech, and that's probably the only way. I do want to test this thing out. Look at that bad boy. This was before the Jolly Roger took off into the sunset. This was our concept for a moon rover. It was our concept for a moon rover. It was like a base that could that was on wheels. That was the concept of the moon rover. Never really saw the light of day. Cool concept though. Kind of like the back end. Kind of reminds me of a like a spoiler. That money is reserved for dropping nuclear engines on cities. Apparently, right? Dual mass driver network. Yeah, maybe. A moon base with a mobile processing lab could be useful for science fails. A 1% science now. Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I cranked it down to 1%. Hindsight's 2020, of course. But had I known better, I would have cranked it down to 1% as soon as I unlocked mobile labs. As soon as I unlocked mobile labs, I would have cranked it down to 1%. That's how you should play this game. 10% science at first. But as soon as you unlock mobile labs, crank it down to 1%. And there's a reason for that. Is because the fact that you're at 1%, mobile labs become a necessity in order to suck out as much science from a singular thing as possible. So it's no longer a luxury. It becomes a necessity to have a mobile lab process the data before you bring it back to Kerbin so you can get that extra science out of it. Because if we had used the mobile labs on 10% science coming back from Duna, instead of coming back with 1,700 science, it'd have been something like closer to 3,000 science, and I would have unlocked the whole damn tree and I would have been pissed off. Look, if I wanted to unlock the whole damn tree and play with all the technology right off the bat, I would have just played in freaking sandbox mode. The challenge of having to do with what you have is what makes the game fun. I hate turd profiles. Try Reforged. I have Reforged. Do you know? Maybe some of those Kerbals rescued pay back. Start only Kerbals fans. What the hell are you talking about, Bane? Knowing sometimes though, time to like to stream. Veo's sick. Veo's very tired. The rescued Kerbonauts already had their rescue pad for the cold hard cash and not needing to pay their hiring fees, right? I have done it with 2G antenna, but with normal comm settings, not hard. Oh, that's probably it, Mike. Probably because I have it on hard, huh? That's probably it. Nice rover. Yay. Somebody likes the rover. Is annoying because deeply broken, but I bring glad tidings. Kitten Space Agency. Yeah, I can't wait till Kitten Space. I really hate the fact that the Kitten Space Agencies have cats with these freaking giant heads and itty bitty little bodies. At least the Kerbals. At least Kerbals, and I'm not going to say that Kerbals don't look the same way, but at least the Kerbal heads and the Kerbal bodies are sort of uniform. They kind of come together all right, because the head of the Kerbal is skinny and it's long. So that compared to the head and the shoulders, it's fine. It's fine. If you look at the head and the shoulders are kind of, it's one uniform line, which kind of comes together really nice. In Kitten Space Agency, the head of the cat is double the size of the head of the Kerbal. It's double. If you look at the head of the cat in Kitten Space Agency, the freaking head is twice the size of the Kerbals. It looks so stupid. Sure hope they fix it. They probably won't. But I can't wait for it anyway, just to, you know, to have a new space game that's kind of like a spiritual successor to KSP. How are you thinking of getting that rover to the moon? Divine intervention? This rover comes in 2 parts. See? This was before we unlocked the bigger... This was before we unlocked the bigger, the bigger docking ports. The wheels were going to be in their own separate docking ports as well. So technically this would be 1 to 8 parts. This rover would be in 8 parts. It would be put together in orbit, and there'd be some sort of towing vehicle that would tow it to the moon and land it there. That's how it was going to get there. It was going to be 8 parts put together, sent to the moon, landed, and then it would take off on its merry little way. Ah, jeez. I really hate grinding, but also getting unlocks is kind of addictive. It is. And when you lose a Kerbal, it's a lot. When you lose a Kerbal in this game because you play in 10% science and you do your best to make everything super safe, it can kill you emotionally. When I lost when I lost Bill for the first time, hell, not even Bill. When I lost, what's his name? Forgot his name already, poor guy. When I lost that first dude, Dudfield, that's right. When I lost Dudfield, I had a moment of silence, man. It sucked. Look at this. This is so sad. Oh, I feel like a failure, but you know what? When you play this game and you're dealing with rockets, bad things are going to happen. That's just the reality of the situation. Where am I? We should petition to make the kitten heads way more proportional. Yes. Bun. Yes. Yes. They won't listen to us, but yes. At least we have it on record. After all, this runs in a Linux system? Oh, okay. Kerbalism science system. Experiment that reduces sample systems are returned. Data can be transmitted. Data in the lab. Okay. That rover looks like it was designed to help stamp out remaining factions of the Kerbal Space Rebellion. Right. It's for the Emperor. Oh. Aw. Thank you, Heck. Moment of silence.
A moment of silence for that guy.
Yep. Moment of silence, everybody. Shh. Moment of silence. Anyway, that rover looks... Look at this. I read that. I don't care if they have legless pumpkins as the first mods. It looks like a pumpkin, doesn't it? The freaking giant head. In all honesty, though, the custom wheels are brilliant. Oh, thank you. They knew what they were signing up for. I know it. I know it, Slash. Yep. Orbital shipyard. Bam. No problems. Right? And we can unlock that. Star. We can unlock that. I think we have a mod, but we need to unlock. We need to unlock ore containers. Once we unlock ore containers, the mod Simple Construction, you can change out what you have in the ore containers. You can have it ore, you can switch it to metal, or you can switch it to rocket parts. And that's all we really need. Honestly, we don't even need the mining technology just yet. If we have the ore containers, we can start shipping rocket parts up there and have the ship built in orbit, which is going to be like really end game stuff. Wait, what I miss? I still think Justin Memorial needs a mushroom cloud somewhere, Royce. You with the mushroom clouds, man. Do you have no dignity, good sir? Jeb is the rover's jet's whole name. Is she saying silent? Silent isn't silent. Jeb, what a great pie. Jeb was close to landing that plane. He was, that damn cactus. Damn you, cactus. Damn you to hell. Bryce will sleep silently, right? How do you like Jeb wearing glasses? Yeah, I thought the glasses part was actually pretty cool. Or actually, they're not glasses. They're, what do you call it? Aviation glasses. That's right. I had to look up what aviation glasses looked like and try to copy it. I remember as it being near the end, but it would be nice. Right. So hopefully these are the last names that will ever be on this damn platform. I know I just jinxed myself, but knock on wood, hopefully this is it. And it stays like this for the rest of the damn game. The only time I'll stop playing this game is when we finally like go to the last planet way out there. That'll be like the last thing. But hopefully this is it. This is that's the goal that I'm trying to do, and I'm sticking to it. I kind of like the fact that the American flag is being reflected on the bottom. You see that? That's pretty. That's like a foreshadowing. That's pretty cool. Anyway. Guess what, peeps? It's an hour and 33 minutes in memory of Bill Jim. I think I'll end it right here. Thank you so much for being here. I know we didn't really do anything except go down memory lane. I am very tired, so it's probably a good thing that I wasn't flying a spaceship, or else somebody's name would have been plastered on here in the next stream. I have no doubt that if I was flying something right now the way I am right now, somebody's name would be added to this. Somebody's name would be added to this, and I'm not trying to do that right now. So I'm gonna end it right here. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Appreciate you. Love you all. Stay safe out there in the world. And if you liked what you saw, please leave a like for me. Be a huge help. Also, we have a membership program if you're interested. Pretty cool. Check it out. Anyway, Bane, I think, is going to be streaming soon. He always streams after me. If you want, click on his name and go to his channel. Give him some love. But I'll see you all later. And like I said, hopefully maybe this weekend I'll stream. If not, just look forward to this time. I always stream in this time. Maybe not every day, but around this time. So if you are interested, just wait for this time. Well, you know, not this time, but an hour and a half ago from this time. Just wait, and if like 20 minutes go by, then I'm probably not going to show up. I try to post stuff. I'm going to try to start doing that better now, to where I post stuff when I'm not going to make it. But yeah, right around this time when I'm after work. But anyway, love you all. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Okay. Take it easy, everybody. Night. Get some stream, my friend. Okay. Oh, great stream, my friend. Gosh damn, I can't even read straight. Damn. Son of a biscuit eater. Yeah. I'm night night. Night night. Night night. Au revoir. Ding Chong Jay. 98. 56. Something, 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 something. Get some rest. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Night night. I need to fix OBS too, because not having a picture here really sucks. Night night videos. Oh. You know, I was gonna, no. Just no. I'm not, no. Nope. Nope. Not doing it. Bye. Yeah, mother.